For most people, Eric Mudomi may look like any other young man. Sitting in front of his computer, he may easily pass for a software engineer or maybe even a lab technician. But this 29-year-old law graduate from the Catholic University of East Africa is the founder of Stawi Foods, a company that prides itself in the manufacture of healthy foods.
The reason that made me start Stawi Foods is firstly, I saw numerous challenges that farmers face in the country in terms of accessing markets. So I was looking for a solution that would give them a market for their produce. Secondly, I wanted to create jobs for women and youth in the country since unemployment is such a major issue in Kenya. And thirdly, I wanted to provide consumers in Kenya with affordable, nutritious foods that are locally made from raw materials that are sourced from farmers in Kenya.
Formed in 2011, Eric started the company when he noticed the kind of challenges that farmers in his home county of Meru were facing in regards to marketing or selling their products. In 2013, the county produced a total of 363,000 tons of bananas valued at 3.8 billion shillings. This was an increase from the previous year when the county produced 286,205 tons. With an abundant supply of bananas, Eric started producing the first product under Stawi Foods, natural banana flour. The flour is gluten-free, which means that the consumers allergic to wheat can use it.
The thing with the banana, it's highly perishable, so if a farmer does not sell their produce within a few days, then it will go bad and the farmer will lose their money. So I was trying to see how can we create a business that can utilize the bananas that are in excess and extend the shelf life by processing them into flour, thereby giving a steady market for the farmers and addressing the challenge of the post-harvest loss. Then secondly, in a county like Meru, there's been little value addition despite the numerous resource of horticulture.
Meru County accounts for over 40% of Kenya's total annual banana production. However, before starting the business, Eric encountered a unique challenge.
The challenges were mainly, for instance, accessing talent when I wanted to develop the product. So it was very expensive to get an expert that could help us formulate the products. So for instance, a food scientist. But luckily I got support from the Ministry of Industrialization back in 2011. They gave us subsidized services to make the products, and then we eventually had a prototype which we got into the market later.
Stawi Foods also produced two more products, Stawi Junior Baby Porridge and Stawi Family Porridge. The products are available in sachets of 1 kilogram and are available in some of the leading supermarkets in Kenya. They are also available in other mid-sized stores. Both products retail at 150 Kenya shillings.
For the baby food, we are basically providing affordable nutrition that is safe for Kenyan consumers and that meets international standards. Then for the family product, we are basically supplying a nutritious breakfast for those who take porridge in the morning that will give them energy to go about their work.
The company currently employs over 10 employees on full-time basis. However, the number rises to as much as 30 when Stawi Foods receives an order for its banana flour. These extra hands are contracted mostly in Meru County. A decent eye will notice that most of the workers at the factory are women.
We would like to empower women basically in Kenya, so we've provided them an opportunity to become more financially stable so that they can provide for their families, because we believe if we support women, then they can build the country by supporting their families. So we've had that as a core element in our business to specifically work with women and grow the women. So in the production and in the marketing, the sales team is all women and the production team is 90% women.
According to Eric, Stawi Foods products have been well received by Kenyans in an industry dominated by multinationals.
Kenyans have been very supportive in buying from Stawi because we are a local company that's supporting local farmers. So we've seen that Kenyans are starting to accept and support local companies in whichever industry. So if it's the industry in food or other sectors, Kenyans are starting to believe that if they buy Kenyan, they build Kenya.
Eric also credits the growth and development of Stawi Foods to his parents who bought into his idea before he implemented it. In Kenya, most parents deem their children as successful once they attain white-collar jobs. Being an entrepreneur or self-employment is not encouraged by many parents. With a law degree in hand, Eric was on the path of a successful career, but he decided to go against the grain.
For my family and my parents have been very supportive despite me shifting from law to business because they believed in the vision that I had in starting the company, and they saw the bigger picture and the long-term picture on where the company could be. But some of my colleagues in law school who have now gone on to very lucrative careers in law did not understand really what was happening. So they weren't sure why I'm leaving law to start a business in food.
For many would-be entrepreneurs, lack of capital is one of the biggest impediments in an idea becoming a viable business. Some entrepreneurs falsely think that they will make profits immediately the business starts.
A business like us, we sell on credit to our customers. So we need to really balance our cash flow so that we can still have money to process and sell as we wait for the payment. So there's been a major challenge of financing for the business since we started and even up to now as we grow. Yeah, another challenge has been the licensing requirements for a food company because we have so many licenses we need to achieve from the City Council, the Public Health, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, for fire, etc. So they're very expensive, and each year the fees keep being increased.
Marketing their products has also been a major challenge for Stawi Foods. This is due to the fact that traditional methods of marketing and advertising, like placing an ad on TV or radio, is very expensive. Thus, they have resorted to new ways of placing their products in the consumer's mind.
They are in the market and are beneficial to customers, so it calls for some investment from us if we want to run some campaigns that would get the message out there. Alternatively, we could utilize social media or the internet, which is much cheaper, like YouTube ads, Twitter, etc. So we are looking at how we can develop marketing campaigns on the internet that are much cheaper than having an ad on radio. But we've used word of mouth up to now, exhibitions, etc., which has helped us, but to a certain extent.
Small businesses need to market their brands, considering the tough competition they will face against more established businesses. Hence, they need to invest enough resources into promoting their products through the right channels. The challenges notwithstanding, Stawi Foods has future plans for further growth.
The future plans for Stawi is basically to provide more healthy food. As Stawi, we look at ourselves as a healthy foods company. So we are basically looking at providing nutritious, very good tasting foods to consumers in Kenya. So 5 years from now, we could have a couple of new products that we haven't yet developed that still provide customers with a nutritious food that's locally made.
Eric's efforts have not gone unnoticed, and in 2015, he won 2 awards. One was the African Guarantee Fund for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, and the other was the Best SME of the Year by the Batashu Foundation.
I have no regrets in starting Stawi because I believe in the potential of the company and the potential of a business to be a force for change in the country. So when I see others that have prospered in professions like law, yes, that's good for them, but for me, I look at Stawi in the long term. So where will Stawi be in 10, 15 years to come? Which is a vision that I'd like to work towards because that's where my passion is. And I believe that the company will have a bigger impact than if I ventured into a profession that would have a less impact, because we are impacting farmers, we are impacting consumers, and we are creating jobs.
Eric is of the opinion that most young people fear entrepreneurship due to lack of finances and being impatient. However, he urges potential entrepreneurs to believe in themselves and look at the bigger picture.
I would tell them to, anyone wanting to get into business, firstly, it's good to do your research when you're starting out. So find out if the product or service you're bringing into the market, has a customer. Talk to customers even before you launch the product or service. Consult with any experts you can access. So if it's an expert that's in your field, maybe your former professor at the university, he could give you free advice that can help you avoid making mistakes when you get the business going. Then business is challenging. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, so it takes a number of years for the business to peak and for you to see the reward.
Eric Mudomi could easily have chosen the easy way out and settled for a career in the corridors of justice. Nevertheless, he opted for the path that had not been trodden on before and established Stawi Foods. And by doing so, he has been able to create employment opportunities and also solve banana farmers' problems in his rural home.